Hi, this is Lee, and this is me painting a miniature from a board game Twisted Fables. It's a card game, but it's a fighting game, so it does contain a lot of movement, positioning factors. You have miniatures in deluxe edition. This is a Little Mermaid. The quality of the miniature is definitely not the best I've seen, and it does have a lot of mood lines, some small issues you need to fix, you need to just take care of before priming it. The face is alright, though I do think it's not good enough compared to the concept art. The artwork of this game is absolutely amazing. Miniature wise, 3D sculpture is a little bit off, but it's alright. It's alright. The main issue is still the mood lines. It's too much. And it's too obvious. You don't want to keep those. It's not like it's on some area you won't be able to see. It's too obvious right on the miniature, and you kind of have to fix that. And again, it's too many areas contains this obvious mood lines. And the miniature, the detail level is not amazing. You see this right hand and arm right there. It's quite blurry because it's supposed to have a bracelet on it, like chain bracelet on it, and the PVC material just can't hold that much detail on it, and it's like that, and you can barely tell there is a. You can tell it's something on the hand, but you can barely tell that's a chain bracelet. So I don't get it. I mean, if they know what final product, if they are expecting this kind of level, they should just get rid of the bracelet. I mean, make it pure hands. I mean, that at least contain some like smooth surface. You don't need some detail. You don't need details on that. But I don't understand why they choose to make a chain bracelet on the hands. I mean, again, in concept art, it can be meaningful for something or settings, but if you're going to make a small miniature, why don't you just ditch that idea? To be honest, it's pointless. But it's all right. The miniature quality is all right, and after spending some time fixing the mood lines, sandpaper down some issues, and prime it. It's all right. It's all right. I don't think I used any green stuff, did I? I think I used some green stuff at the very end for like a small part of on the face, but other than the sandpaper mood lines, I didn't fix much. I didn't sculpt any extra part for this miniature, because it's all right. It's not bad, but it's just not great. Right, I'm gonna talk quite a lot in this video. I don't really talk in previous ones because just I don't know. I'm gonna talk quite a lot in this video. Hopefully, I'll help you, and hopefully, you enjoy it. So all the paints I used for this miniature were from Games Workshop Citadel base paints. The only non-base paint I used was Temple God Blue, which is a layer paint, also from Games Workshop Citadel, and it's a light cyan color, and you can't really achieve that by mixing other base paints. So there you go. All the base paints I used were Abandoned Black, Corax White, Macragge Blue, Mephiston Red, Averland Sunset, and Mournfang Brown. Those are listed in the description, should be in there. And I don't use like specific color for a specific area. I do mixing colors a lot. So for human skins, I mainly use Corax White plus a little bit brown. I'll get it's a quicker way of simulating human skins. You can also use red plus yellow to get a mid-tone orange, and then adding a lot of white to achieve human skins. I'll give you a better result, but white plus a little bit brown is a quicker way of doing that. You can always just adjusting that, adding some red, adding some yellow, depends on what kind of skin you're trying to achieve. For this miniature, Corax White plus a little bit brown, and I think I add a little bit red in it. And I do add red in most of my female character skin tones, because I don't know, to me it feels more female-ish by adding red. I think I'm gonna sandpaper some small particles on this miniature. Yeah, because it happens. You'll notice some small particles just, I don't know, sometimes just appear on your paint surface, and it's hard to ignore that. So I do actually sandpaper my miniature during the process of painting. I don't recommend doing it, but sometimes you just have to. And also, you may miss one or two mood lines, so don't be afraid of sand your miniature during the process of painting, or even after that. I mean, as long as you know what you are going to do, as long as you know what color is supposed to be, you are, free to sandpaper whatever areas you're not satisfied with. A lot of people asking me how I do my eyes on miniatures. It's just I don't know, patience, I guess. There's no skills, literally no skills. You just keep painting it until you are satisfied with it. I know you may, get it thick, but I don't know, just try to thin your paint and then try to achieve the result you are looking for in the minimal attempts. So the only suggestion I can give is to know your character's focus first. Like, your character gonna look to left, or your character gonna look to right, or if your character gonna look up, look down, or look straight to front. You get that sorted first, and then you're trying to match your eyeballs to that direction. For beginners, like any inexperienced painter, I would suggest you lock your character's focus to either left or right, because that's easier to paint. All you need to do is paint the eyeballs to the left or to right. If you're trying to make your character looking right at front, it will be harder because it is difficult to measure the distance in between, and you may, miss a little bit, just a tiny little bit, and it may just look completely different. Like one eye is looking to a little bit right, one eye is looking to a little bit to left. It may result in a little bit weird. So if you are a beginner, if you are inexperienced with painting eyes, you either just using heavy shadows in eye area, or trying to make your character looking to either right or to left. Now that'll be easier. Not saying it'll give you a better result, but it'll be easier than painting the focus right to front, or even up and down. Again, that was a small personal tip for beginners. That's the tips for eyes. And next step is keep painting the skins. Like I said, Corax White plus a little bit brown, and plus a little bit red. A little bit red will make the color a little bit pinkish, and personal feeling, pink does make the skin tones look a little bit more female. Obviously, if you're trying to paint a male skin tone, you would need a little bit more either yellow or more brown to, I don't know, to make the skin look like, I don't know, aged a lot, or even like tougher a lot. Like it, I don't know, it's just kind of personal thing, I guess. You can obviously make your male character look a little bit pinky. It's again personal preference. Yes. Other than that, it's just keep adding highlights, keep adding shadows. So for highlights and shadows, if you don't have a specific like concept or idea, there's no like specific lighting source, or you're trying to achieve specific colors, most highlights are just more, white-ish. Most shadows are just black-ish. Not saying you're gonna use pure white or pure black for highlights and shadows, but if you don't have specific lighting source or any ideas in your mind, you would adding some white or some black for highlights and shadows. If you are having some, I don't know, some warm lighting or some cold lighting, adding corresponding colors to your midtones. Like if there is like quite cold bluish lighting around, then your highlights would close to light bluish color, and then your shadow area would also be in quite cold, like purple even, or a dark green or dark blue as well. So it really depends on your lightings. And if you're trying to use a warm lighting like a orange or yellow light, then your highlight would be more close to yellow or orange, and then your shadow area would be more to brown or dark yellow. Well, if you use black plus yellow, you'll kind of get some dark yellow but close to greenish color. But anyway, that's basically how you are trying to get highlights and the shadows done. And you just keep highlighting your miniature and keep adding shadows to your miniature. Do not use pure white or pure black as shadows or highlights. You can do that, but normally you would not see pure white or pure black on a miniature, especially in highlights or shadow area. You may find some pure white on some miniatures as highlights because it's using either a stylized painting or a I don't know, some comic book style painting. But if you're trying to achieve more realistic style, you won't need pure white. It's always white plus something like blue or yellow or something. The only thing you won't use pure black is to outline some stuff, because it's a small miniature and you do want have high contrast. So you may want to use pure black for some outlines. Like what I was doing there, I was outlining the edge of the socks. So I do want have a great contrast in between the skin and the socks. So pure black, that's fine, but do not use pure black for large area of shadows, or pure white for large area of highlights. Don't do that. If you're trying to adding some texture, it kind of depends on what the materials you're trying to achieve. If it's like leather or silk, or for instance this socks right there, you would want some brush strokes. Again, depends on what kind of material you're trying to achieve. The brush stroke may be just lines or some dots. It kind of all depends on the reference. Get some reference of what effects you're trying to achieve. Just trying to simulate the effects from the reference. Like black silk, you would tend to draw a lot of detailed fine lines to simulate the texture. And if it's like leather, you may want edge a lot and then just adding some small dots or lines to trying to achieve the texture of the material. I wasn't sure if this character is wearing any pants, because from the concept art I was looking at, you could not tell. So I did a tea bag on the character. I think I was still not satisfying with the eyes. I skipped a little bit because it was hard to paint some small details under a cell phone, because I don't because the cell phone was right in between me and the miniature, and I can't really look at the miniature in real close distance, so I kind of skip a little bit. What I skipped was the chain bracelet. I paint the entire area kind of in the Temple God Blue paints. To I was trying to achieve a lighting effect. The chain bracelet was the lighting source, and it would just make surroundings a little bit blue, but yeah, just it wasn't ideal. Then I start to keep modifying the eyes, trying to improve it because I wasn't satisfying with it. But basically, for eyes, you want a I don't know. You want a quite um, uh, great outlines. Yeah. I guess you can see that. Like if you read comics or mangas, all characters' eyes are framed, so you kind of want that effect on a small scale miniature. Not saying big scale, but for small scale miniature, you tend to have a great frame, a black outline around the eyes, because that gives you a great contrast, and it will just make the eyes pop out a little bit. I was also trying to add in some eyeshadows. For this character, was some kind of red, and so yeah, I was trying to do that. And again, it's no skill, just a fine brush and patience, and thin your paints, thin your paints. The brush I was using was a 000 size, a Winsor Newton 7 series brush, but it's kind of half broken. So it doesn't really matter about the size as long as your brush have great, any perfect condition brush can do detailed jobs. The size of the brush only makes you feel more comfortable on some small situation, because you don't want like big brush on a small miniature. It will just block the areas of the area you were trying to paint, and a small brush wouldn't have any issue like that. So small brush, that's the only pro on small brush. It will not block your eyesight. Other than that, any like great condition brush can do detailed job. So I was trying to fixing right eyes, because I'm right-handed, and so painting right eyes will be kind of difficult, because the nose and then the front hair are there, so it would just interfere between me and the right eyes. But again, if you are left-handed, you're probably more comfortable with painting right eyes, but then you are gonna having trouble with left eyes because the nose is just right there. And so that's the final result, I think. That's the final result on eyes, at least. I think that's the best eyes I can achieve on this miniature with my current skills level. Yes, I did use green stuff for side of the face, because it was like mood lines there, and it was a little bit shrinked inside, so I did use some green stuff fixing that. Other than the character, the base, the tentacles, I didn't spend much time on that. I did use a art code technical protection paints on the tentacles to make it look more, I don't know, oil-ish, water-ish, and more tentacle effects. So you would assume this tentacle was just from the ocean or the water or wherever. But yeah, that's basically me painting Little Mermaid from Twisted Fables. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.